We're going to break down the first few moves in the first form. We're going to break down each technique and explain each technique. So we start in a chumbi stance or a ready stance. So for that, we come with our feet together because we bow, attention. Our hands, we make a fist. 1, 2, 3. We roll the fingers down, thumb is on the outside, underneath. The hands are at the hip. So when we step out, we just step from feet together to feet shoulder width apart. It's a chumbi stance. We punch from the hips downward, like kind of I don't know if it's a 45-degree angle, but at angles inward. This is just our stance to be ready to do whatever it is we're going to do. It makes sure my students are paying attention to me and keeps them, so I know they're disciplined and focused while they're in this stance. If they're not in this stance, they're probably not paying attention. They're probably not ready for whatever command I'm about to give. So we're starting this stance. We're going to step out to horse stance. Step the left foot. We sink the hips down. Okay, so the feet are about double shoulder width. It's a guideline. It doesn't have to be exact. My knees are above my feet though. I'm not leaning forward. I'm not leaning back. My knees can't be straight, otherwise I have no balance forward and backwards. They're bent. I should be able to shift side to side pretty easy. Twist side to side. I'm in a good all-around stance with my hips sunk so I have good balance. So we step left foot out. The right hand is just coming back to the hip. It's just a resting position to put our hands when we're not focused on it. The left hand, however, is coming up by the head, facing away. I start with the hand open and then I close it. It steps, so as I step out, this one's coming out by my head. Okay, that's basically right angle. It's coming in front of my face and sweeping across. My knuckles, in between my two knuckles, are underneath my opposite eye. This is to make sure the most important part is that this crosses my nose, because if my block stops here, which some people will do, this does absolutely nothing because I want to protect the center line. Underneath my eye protects basically all the way up from my center of my chest to the bridge of my nose. I'm protected here for any face punches or body punches. This block covers all of that. Then we're going to do the same thing on the left hand or on the right hand. Right, then our next move is a face block. The face block goes over to the opposite hip, vaguely. It doesn't have to be like touch the hip. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going across, and then my wrist is turning up. So it's in, and then my wrist is turning outward, and it goes up over my head. Again, my wrist is slightly past my nose, right? I want to cross the line, because if I open this, I get hit. If it's not far enough over, I get hit unless I'm blocking something at an angle. So it's here. It's designed to block something coming down on top of my head. At least that's how I use it. I don't like to use this for any straight attacks. I usually use it. The main thing I've used it for is axe kicks. So anybody throws an axe kick, we'll use this block. But it can also be like an overhead strike. Could be somebody swinging something down on top of you, and we'll use movement when we actually use this. But this is our face block. Then we do it with both hands. So this one will come back. This one goes over towards the other hip, and then up. We're here. So 1, 2, we're here. Then we go to inside-outside block. So we had outside in, now we have inside out. It's the opposite. It comes over by my shoulder, opposite shoulder, and it circles around in front of my face, and it ends up being basically out in front of my foot. It is pointed a little bit to the outside. This is designed to catch inside the crook of the arm from like a haymaker or something that's hooking. It's meant to come inside and then shoot out towards that elbow. So if this hand is swinging in, the arm is coming this way and then swinging and catching here. If it is close in front of the shoulder, the hook punch would go around it. If it comes way out here and I'm fast, I still eat it in the face. So it needs to go at an angle from the shoulder out, just like this. 1, 2. So we have our inside-outside block. Our next block is what I call the reverse block. So it moves in the same inside-outside direction, but my hand is going to face the other way. This is more of a deflection. So it's going to go from the shoulder, and then it comes up, it goes to the hip to the shoulder. Hip to shoulder, again, it's not super close. This hand is coming inside, so it does have space. It stops at the shoulder. Okay, this is meant to deflect something coming straight at me. So if something's coming straight at me, I'm not trying to knock it to the side. I'm moving myself and then slightly deflecting. So typically when we are using this block, there is some movement involved. There's some exceptions, but generally that's how I would use it. Inside, and we're on the outside of a punching arm. So if I'm punching this way, it's blocking this arm, which is a general rule I have for blocking any techniques. Blocking on the inside, we have to do it when it's a hook punch, but for anything straight, we try to block on the outside. So we're here, then our last one is a down block or a low block, whatever you want to call it. It's coming basically from my ear to above my knee, and it sweeps all the way around, almost like an outside-inside block, but it doesn't come out so wide. It comes in basically from the hip to the ear. And then it goes, it's not completely straight. There's a circular movement to this. Okay, this is blocking anything hooking towards the side or kicking, like a roundhouse kick to this side. It is blocking anything low to the body. Okay, and again, if it was a punch to the body like this, I'd be blocking on the outside of the arm. So I have to go around it and knock the thing to the outside. Here, hand does need to be closed on this one, where in the other blocks, being open doesn't make so much of a difference. This one's a little bit weaker, I like to have it closed. But the down block is very important. If the fingers are pointed down, then they get broke if somebody kicks up at them. So I like to do closed fists just to make sure I protect my fingers. So we're going ear, here. When this one reaches up, we're practicing bringing this hand to the opposite hip so that if I'm not leaving my whole side exposed, I'm blocking this side with this hand. So the movement, the arms cross. 1, 2. If my arm is straight and it's gone out too far, things that hit it, especially like a middle high roundhouse that hits up here, will slide up the arm and hit you in the head. So there needs to be a more of a straight line to this arm. If it's been in, it collapses and it won't be strong. If it's out, it makes a ramp to your head. So it wants to be here. And it's in front of my foot, it's above my knee. I don't like to have it super close to me because I need room for the other hand to go underneath it. So there's space and there's a little bit of gap in there. Okay, if I was to step 1 foot forward, then my finger points basically to my toe there. Down block, down block. Now we're going to shift. Actually, that'll be the first section. We'll break down the next section in a different video.